Good morning, children. Happy to see you. Previous sessions for you, especially Unit 3, we completed the textbook part. And this session, I have come here before you to teach voice. To teach the voice, it is a grammar topic. And this topic is a very most important topic in English grammar also. So, without voice, there is no question. Question paper. Even in your standard, 10th standard or intermediate or in graduation or in any other competitive examination, if you see the paper, definitely there would be a 1 mark and 1 question will be given. So, this is also an important topic in English grammar. Right? So, today I am happy to teach you this topic and I got an opportunity to teach you. Right? So, before I start this lesson, I humbly request to all the students, please attention towards the class. Do not roam about here and there. To and fro, don't move. And if you miss the logic and you cannot understand, because that is the main, that's why you may not to move here and there. Right? Are you ready to listen to the class? Very good. Let us come to the point, voice. So what is the voice? You should have to know the definition. First, voice ante manaku ardham kavali. Daniki untu oka definition leda oka nirvachanam andam. So if you have know the definition, then you can do and you can make the sentence in the two voices. Right? Here the definition, let us see. Voice is the form of a verb which shows what is done by the subject. That is one topic. Right? The voice is the form of a verb which shows what is done by the subject. And whether subject does something, or something is done to the subject. Whether the subject does something. Subject does something. Subject ఏం చేస్తుంది? ఏదైనా చేయదు. లేక something is done to the subject. So, this is the basic concept of the voice. This is the basic concept of the voice. Right here, what are the kinds of voices we have? There are mainly two kinds of voices in English, namely. That is, one is active voice and the second one is passive voice. And first one is active voice and second one is passive voice. Right? Right. Very good. So what is the active voice? In active voice, what the subject does something, that is an active voice. What the subject does something, that is an active voice. What the something is done to the subject, that is passive voice. That is the voice of the concept and definition of the concept. Right? In Telugu, ఆ పని ఎవరు చేశారు అనేది యాక్టివ్ వాయిస్ లో చెప్తే ఎవరి చేత చేయబడినది చెప్పేది పాసివ్ వాయిస్. దట్స్ ఆల్. సో హియర్ what is an active voice? Active voice, it is in a verb form. In the active voice, when it's a form, it shows that the person or a thing denote to the subject. The person or thing, person avachchu lekapothe thing avachchu, that denote to the subject, that is called active voice. For example, Sita made a kite. So this is an active voice, my dear children. The person or thing denoted to the subject. The person denoted to the subject, a kite. Here it is a subject is a Sita. Right. And what is the passive voice? Passive voice is a voice when it shows that the person or thing denoted by the subject. So there are two voices here. So it is that shows that here it is active voice, and a kite was made by Sita. This is passive voice. Here like this, likewise, there are two sentences and two voices, namely in what active and passive voice. That is active voice and passive voice. My dear children, this is a brief definition about voice. I hope you got it, right? Right here, there are certain voices in the how, so that is already I taught you that. And now, the rules how to change from active into passive. Let us see. For example, here is a sentence. Rama killed Ravana. Okay, are you listening? Very good. Sure, Rama killed Ravana. So, first of all, what you want to do? That is main important. When you see the sentence in the textbook, in the paper, or in your workbook, first of all, make the sentence into three parts. The first one is, this is called subject, and the second one is, this is called verb form, and the third one is, this is called an object. Right? There are three parts: subject, verb, and object. Right? We know this is an active voice. Then the examiner asks you to change the voice into passive form. That was the question that you appear in the question paper. Then at the time you have to make the sentence into three parts. Divide the sentence into three parts: subject, verb, object. The first and the foremost, whatever the object you find in a sentence, that it comes to the places of the subject. So then write Ravana. Ravana is singular or plural? So it is a singular. Very good. So here you have to remember certain things, certain B forms here. So B forms, the only one class I taught you the previous, you have to remember the B forms. Present B forms is, am, and are. Past B forms was and were. So these B forms you have to remember in your mind. So is, am are used for singular subject, right? And are is used for plural subject. In the same way here, was is used for singular and were is used for plural. So likewise you have to remember. So here when you know the object is a singular, then come to the point, the verb form. So what kind of verb it is, which means whether it is a present tense verb or past tense or past participle, which means V1, V2 and V3. Right? When you know this V2 form, automatically when the verb is in past tense, then go with these two auxiliary verbs, which means P forms. As I told you, was used only for the singular subject. Here the Ravana was. Then here come to the verb form. Whatever the verb is here, don't mind it. Do not bother. So when you change from active into passive, the verb is always in the past participle, that is V3. Passive voice వచ్చేసరికి verb form V3 లోనే ఉండాలి. అది మారకూడదు. 80% లో మారకూడదు. It does not change. That's all. It never changes. Right? So was killed. By is a preposition occurs and the subject goes to the place of an object. By Rama. This is called passive voice. How you understand? Here in the example, Sita was making a kite. Here it is active voice, and you want to change in passive voice. In the same way, divide the sentence into three parts: subject, object, verb. Subject is a subject, Sita is a subject, it is a helping verb, and making, it is a verb form, a kite, it is an object. Right? As usually, a kite comes to this place and goes to this place. Here a kite, it is a continuous tense, past continuous tense, because here it was. So a kite was here making in the sense, here it is a continuous. I told you. So whatever the verb form is here in the present is in the past active voice. Don't bother. It should change in the form of the past participle. That is V3 form. So making it becomes made. So what about the in form? Instead of that place, a kite was being made by Sita. Right? So by preposition always comes after the V3 form. You should have to remember. Please, all of you, I hope you understand this concept, and later the rules and regulation. What are the rules and regulation? I'll give the full detail of the notes. Please, all of you, note it down.